Hey, what's up? Let's talk about Turp Labs because that's something I don't think I've touched enough on. Just to give some context, Turp Labs is basically a student-run lab that builds software for the University of Maryland College Park, right? It's a student-run initiative, so they do different things. So right now, one of the projects I'm working on this semester and next semester, I believe, is going to be Turp Meals. Basically, what it is a way to track nutrition and just meals for students in the schools. Like, if you want to know, like, okay, let's say I want to go on a diet, it can help you with that. If you want to know what they're serving today, it can like, okay, this dining hall is serving this and this dining hall is serving that. I think it's a really cool idea. I think that's something I want to build at Pitt, which was it's really exciting because like that's something I want to do as a executive board initiative, and now I come here and that's already a thing, right? Another project they're working on is a marketplace, and that was one of the big ideas I wanted to implement. So it's like really I won't say it's weird, but it's like I don't know, it's exciting to see how that's unfolding and what it actually looks like. Um, and saying that though, like I said, I'm going to be working on the Turp Mills project, and for that project, I'm going to be a project manager with one other person. You're going to have your people work on back and front end. You're going to have marketers. You're going to have UX designers. I think it's a really exciting time for me because it's not a role I have formally done before. Right, I've obviously assumed a project manager role here or there in some informal way, but this is like the first formal time, so I think it's really interesting. I think something I'm really interested in is that I've done leadership roles before, like whether it's with an African Student Association, whether it's with Residence Hall, whether it's this or that, right? But I don't think I've done that many leadership roles formally with in technical aspects, right? And I think that's gonna be something really interesting. I do hope to do. I like the coding, I like the designing, I like the planning, and all of that. I love whiteboards especially, but I also like the idea of being able to lead a project or serve the project in a sense, right? As a leader. I think if I want to do that in my career, I have to have that experience, right? And it's kind of a troublesome thing because I also want to get experiences. I want to have a strong technical stack, but also a strong leadership stack. So this is going to be a great way to actually get that strong leadership ability in the tech space. I do think people tech I think I'm not used to leading technical people. I think I've done it in informal ways, like I said before, but I feel like technical people are special in the sense that they're very diverse, right? Sometimes like they're just like the most normal person you can think of, and other times like they fit this stereotype or another stereotype, or other times there's just something really different. And it's like they all come from different backgrounds and they all have different goals and complexities and all that. And it's a really interesting way. It's like how can you best get all of them on the same page to serve the same goal. 'Cause I think even with this project, I'm trying to think of how can I get us all on the same page. 'Cause I think that's going to be the most important thing right off the bat. Besides getting to know one another and trusting each other with our goals and ambitions. So I'm going to try and talk to the project manager and see like how we can do that. I think the first thing's going to be like a social night, like maybe bowling, and then from there we just investigate the current software and the current services and see what can change. We do some customer interviews and market research. I don't know if market research is actually the best term here, but we do some customer interviews. So we ask other students what they think of the website. And then from there, we have an understanding of the weaknesses, the gaps, and then we can figure out how to best address those based on the interview. It's not just going to be a matter of like we talk internally and we just come up with ideas and then we work on those ideas for the next semester. And it turns out, while those are cool ideas amongst us, right, or the majority of us amongst the majority of the school, they don't care about that at all. So I think that's something I want to make sure we do, and just make sure we're not just running off fumes, right? Like actually have something concrete we're working off of, especially when it comes to how we design it. Um, but yeah, I really am excited. I think it's a cool idea. I want to see how everyone works. I want to see. I think marketing is going to be a really interesting one to talk to. I want to see um, now let me phrase that. I think marketing is an interesting role. 'Cause I think that's probably one of the most important things. I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff out there, right? But what distinguishes them most of the time is like just how you market them. Especially, I think this applies to everything really. Like a big belief I have is that like some of the best athletes in the world, we actually don't know about them because they don't have the we don't have like the agents to market them, right? That's like maybe like the fastest person in the world is in some random village, right? But you just never know about them. Um, So I think that's why I'm interested in that marketing role. I can't wait to see how we do that. I want to really try and I want to try playing around with how a lot of recent tech marketing or startup marketing has been done. Think people like Cluely or just other fresh startups, I guess, and just try and be more playful with it, try and get more people engaged. I think that's really what works. If you do something too formal, then your prime audience, which is going to be students in this case, is just not going to care, right? It's not a service that's critical to many people. I think I haven't done enough research yet. So it has to be something where they have to be willing to give some of their attention, which is already a very finite resource. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I've been saying that word a lot, but this is something I'm really excited for. So can't wait to get it started. The team is getting ready. We're setting up the server, the group chat, and then I think by end of this week or beginning of next week, we will start like ramping up and start like talking and planning. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.